So one thing, I don't know, I feel like in the paranormal community right now, a big argument is over orbs. I feel like some people think all orbs are fake. It's just dust or a bug. It's all explainable. There's no such thing as an orb. And then some say no, there is such thing as an orb, and you can tell when it's a dust or a bug versus an orb. Because like the dust, you'll see multiple of the dust particles flying or pretty much floating around the air, and then if it's a bug, one of the frames on it, you'll see the outline of the bug and the wings. And I feel like orbs, it's a ball of energy. It gives off light, you know. You can see it with your eye or on camera, and you know when if it's an orb, you know what I'm saying, versus dust or a bug, because you'll see the bug's wings flying by, or you'll just see it go like that, or you know, towards the camera, and then the dust, you'll just see multiple of the particles floating up and about. And in our one of our wedding photos, like there was an orb,
which is crazy because so Ashley posted our wedding photos, right?
Yeah.
And then when I re-shared them, it tagged an aunt of mine on my grandma's side that I don't even have on Facebook.
That's weird.
Yeah, very weird. I brought that up to my mom not too long ago.
So I wonder if it was your aunt.
I don't know.
I mean, who knows? It could have been somebody in your family, somebody in my family, or it could have been, you know, multiple. And you can tell in that photo, which is going to be my paranormal experience. We'll talk more about it when that segment comes about. But like, you can tell that it's not a sun flare.
From like the lighting on the camera?
Yeah. Because the way the sun was setting and the camera took the
Back
picture.
to my opinion on the orbs, though. I think a lot of people are like me, though. I still ask you because I struggle with, I automatically assume it's a bug. Right off the bat, a bug.
Yeah.
A bug. But like you said, once you've shown me the differences, I mean,
yeah, it's
easier to tell now, but I still think a lot of people just assume everything can be
an orb. Yeah, trust me, I know.
There's a lot of other factors.
I've been in a couple people's live streams, and an orb came. Well, it wasn't an orb. It was a bug that flew by the screen, and everybody in the chat was saying it was an orb. The person's live stream said it was an orb, and I was one of the few saying no, that was a bug. I seen the outline of the wings, and then it pretty much started a big argument in that chat. But like, I didn't want to really argue with the person or cause any drama. But to me, I went back, played it frame by frame, and in two of the frames, out of, I think it was like 60 frames, or no, it wasn't 60, but out of all them frames where that bug flew by, two of the frames you see the outline of the bug in the wings.
Yeah. A lot of common one I see on my newsfeed and stuff too is cemeteries. There's always like a whole bunch of orbs in them, but there's other factors. There's the lights around the cemeteries, like in people's graves.
Lights.
Bugs.
But you can tell when it's somebody's lighting the grave because it just stays there, and then...
But I'm talking about in still photos of cemeteries.
Oh,
That's what I see a lot. In photos, there's a lot of orbs in one photo. And everybody automatically assumes it's an orb, but there's so many other factors. There's all just the pollen and stuff you're kicking up walking. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you can see pollen, but who knows. And then there's bugs, the lights.
Yeah. See, but to someone who, I mean, so I've watched multiple videos of people talking about orbs, watching multiple paranormal investigators, people that's been experiencing this way longer than me being alive, or even being thought into existence. And they show you multiple videos of what things look like orbs, like a bug flying past the camera, or a bird. It'll even slow it down for you and show you, hey, you can tell it's not an orb. And then the dust, they give you multiple video of what multiple dust, and you'll see it. It's all like that. But when you got something, right, say it could be dust, but say you got all dust just moving a certain way, right, then you got one thing just come and just do something totally different off the wall and looks totally different from that dust. Come on now. And it's just, you can spot it too if it's a bug or dust or an animal, or a light that's like in a cemetery, or like you can tell. You know what I'm saying? Like there's things that you have to specifically look for to tell what it is. If it's a reflection off something or a camera light.
Do you still think orbs are the most common thing that are caught though?
I think a real orb, not a. I ain't gonna say like someone's faking it, but like fake orbs like dust and stuff. I like a real orb. I don't think it's the most common thing. I think right now the most common thing that's being like pretty much caught, like hard evidence, seen versus like hearing, like with your senses and not using a device, is well, you still have to use a device to capture this, like video, which is visual, or audio, which is hearing. I feel like EVPs, electromagnetic voice phenomenons, is mainly what's caught here lately, more. And then like there are a ton of orb evidences out there, but a lot of them it's just dust or bugs.
It's orbs.
Yeah, it's orbs. But I feel like I wish I could explain this better. I believe that orbs are real. It's a real thing. And you can tell because if it's like a light source, like close up or from a distance, how it moves and stuff, and you can tell if it's an orb or somebody with a flashlight or something. Like there's specific things you can point out to tell what it is. But when it's just like a light ball of energy, just floating around or moving or going from here to there or over there, up within seconds. Like you'll either hear what it is or you can tell what it is. But when it's just like a ball of light and there's nothing explainable of it, come on now, that's an orb. Orbs. There's so much evidence of orbs being real out there, and I've seen probably about, I'm gonna say 2 orbs my whole entire life. One of them was during an investigation, and another one wasn't.
I wonder though.
And there's so many stories of elders that my elders have told me of orbs and that they've seen, and then other investigators that are well known, orbs that they've seen.
I wonder what is the difference in like the afterlife of either being like showing yourself as an orb or like a full blown like figure.
There's multiple different ideals of it, like so some say like an orb that shows it's a process of it manifesting itself into a full apparition. It goes.
So it's just like it's a step.
Yeah, of getting energy.
Or like a phase.
Some say it's apparition, and then they say on certain cameras, it might look like a ball of light to you, but on the camera it will show the apparition of it. Or some say it's the spirit just in a ball form. It's not trying to appear itself or show itself really, just show it's there. Mm-hmm. There's just so many ideals of it.
I wonder if it takes more energy to manifest into a full
apparition. See, I think it's multiple different of those ideals. I feel like it's just a spirit in a ball of energy. And then I think it's also part of a process of a spirit trying to show itself in a full apparition. Because there's a video of, like this orb. No, it wasn't the orb first. It was an apparition. And then the orb followed the apparition right behind it. And it wasn't a dust or a bug. It was just floating. And it was like pulsating. So it, like, dust don't pulsate.
Well, no. But
when it goes like not shiny to camera, back to shiny, but the light was pulsating. Mm-hmm. So moving on to the next segment, which is the haunted place of the week. So this week we picked 2 haunted places. Mm-hmm. It's in Alabama. One is the Old Bibb County Jail, and the second one is the Jemison Vedi Graf Mansion.
Yep.
You want to tell us a bit about the Old Bibb County Jail?
So, I'm going to start off the wrong one. So, it was built in 1910 from native stone during the WPA era, which I was unsure about. But I did a little research, and it's the Great Depression era when Roosevelt was doing like bills and
helping us help people get out of the Great Depression.
Yeah. I really couldn't find much on it. It's 107 years old. In Centerville. And it's seen its last execution in 1949.
And it was of a 17-year-old boy, wasn't it?
Oh, I don't know.
The last execution, I'm pretty sure, was of
I don't
a 17-year-old boy.
You probably found more than me, because that's literally all I found. It was 17 years ago was the last execution.
So it might have been 17 years ago instead of the 17-year-old boy.
Yeah. Other things are the reports from paranormal activity would be smell, full apparitions, unexplained noises, feel like being watched, felt like something patrolling the halls, which I don't know how you would really feel that, but
I mean, they probably like heard like shuffling of feet or footsteps, and then probably like certain sounds coming from the hall.
Yeah, and
like it gives you a feeling someone's there watching you.
The only other thing would be just that they assume the ghost would be from the people that's been executed in there.
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of your haunted places have something to do with something dark happening there to cause it to be haunted, or to leave that spirit behind at that location.
And I would only assume that back then jails weren't very, the hygiene probably wasn't very good. The guards probably wasn't very nice, Yeah.
They didn't have a lot of rules and regulations to follow back then.
Yeah, and I feel like, they would allow fights and killings to happen.
And then, like, a lot of your states now, they don't have pretty much like the I don't know how you say it slipped my mind, but
prisons now, they're watched, like they're on video.
Well, not just that, but now they don't kill people, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for fun.
They don't have the death penalty in some states anymore. A lot of your states don't have that death penalty, where some states still do. You have to do something very horrendous.
But even then, is it done at the jail? I mean, I'm not.
Yeah,
too
a
sure
lot of places back then they either did the hanging inside, and like a small group of people watched, which would be.
But I mean now.
Now.
Are they done in the jail?
A certain part of the jail, yeah.
Oh, okay, so they're still done in the jails. Yeah, usually people that watch could be, if they killed somebody, it could be the victim's family.
The victim's family, the person that is being murdered right there, his family, the priest to give the last rites, and the jailer, and
I still think that's kind of fucked up that they would allow your family to watch it. Like, I understand the victim's family. That's like getting closure and stuff, whatever. Whoever wants to do that. But the victim's family, I just think that would mentally mess somebody up.
And back then, they also did it outside of the jail, like hangings,
yeah,
where
like
everybody
in the middle of the
could
square.
see.
Yeah.
And then then they on the inside of the jail, they even did hangings like jailhouse pizza in Brandsburg, Kentucky. Mm-hmm. They did hangings inside there. You also got electric chairs.
Yeah.
Which that your electric chair, you're dying in pain. That's just dark.
Yeah.
That can really, even a hanging. Then you got people like lethal injection or a gas chamber.
Which lethal injection is the go-to now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's non-painful in the gas chamber. Well, I think they can pick between if that jail has multiple options, because I think one still has a gas chamber. Which
I get a coach every time we do this. It's weird.
What about the Jemison mansion?
Oh, the mansion. So it was built in 1859, and it was a 26-room mansion. It was built for a local businessman, Robert Jamison Jr. At the time of construction, the house boasted some of the most luxurious features within the entire state, so it was really fancy around there. For that time era, it had running water, flushable toilets, and even a copper bathtub. So it was very fancy, rich for back in that period. The home survived civil.
It has history.
Yeah, it survived the Civil War. Hang on.
So with it surviving in Civil War, I'm guessing they're pretty much saying it was probably in the middle of a battle.
Probably.
Or being used somehow.
Maybe like a safe house or like for the general, I feel like.
Yeah.
However they did stuff back then.
Troops have walked around it or something.
Yeah, especially back then, what the locals had to house the military.
Yeah.
Didn't it? So it goes into his daughter being married there to a guy named Andrew Hargrove. Hargrove was injured in the war and suffered from terrible headaches. It says that the pain was so severe that he ended up shooting himself in the library in the mansion.
Suicide's another one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So then, which follows, his wife was so distraught after the suicide that she fell into a deep depression and lived her last days in the house as well, from a broken heart, I would say, literally from depression.
So that has a lot of history on it of pretty much of dark energy happening to can create a haunting in a home or them staying behind.
Yeah, so it doesn't say anything about them having kids or her being pregnant or anything, but one of the occurrences with the hauntings is they'll see a little girl hanging onto the banister. Also handprints on windowsills, on the windows.
Of little kids?
Yeah, but there's no report of a little kid dying. But
Or
that could go
living
into maybe she was pregnant when she died.
Could be, or during the Civil War. Could have been like a daycare a little bit. They watched kids or something.
Or maybe a little girl died around there.
Yeah.
Maybe she just found her way there. Also, there has been reports of hearing music in empty rooms. Hearing voices, footsteps. I feel like that's another main one that people hear. And then also, there was a wedding happening there, and a mirror, not magically, but the mirror came flying off the wall at the bride, with no explanation.
That's trippy.
Yeah, but other than that, that's about.
I mean, the mirror just come flying off the wall. Mm-hmm. That just shows you that's not. That has to be some force doing that. Mm-hmm. It has to be paranormal.
Yeah.
I mean, it is paranormal because it's unexplainable. And for a mirror to fly off of a wall is just unexplainable. It has to have force to do that. Somebody had to pull it off, or something threw it off. You know, because usually, like, for a mirror to come off a wall, you know, it's hung up there, you know, vibration or something, it'll just fall down. But for it to be thrown and projected across the room, or projected in with a certain force, that's unexplainable. That's poltergeist activity right there. It's a poltergeist kind of spirit.
Yeah. I don't know. I wonder why the energy is so dark.
Well, I mean, somebody committed suicide there. Then it's during also Civil War era, which was a dark time.
But do you think something other than his headaches caused him to commit suicide?
I mean, that could have been a possession. He could have been possessed. That's probably what gave him headaches, and then something was telling him to kill himself. Yeah. But who knows? I mean, we will truly never know unless that spirit comes forth and speaks, you know, through EVPs, or, you know, if it's intelligent and tells its story somehow, you know, or other things were found. So next up is our paranormal experience, another paranormal experiences that we've had in life. Mine's going to be with the wedding orb. You know, to me, that we had them wedding photos for probably about a year before somebody spotted that out and shown us. And the orb was like kind of around my pocket area, like right in here. And I didn't have anything in my pockets. Nothing could shine through my pockets. I hate things in my pockets.
I wish I was prepared for that. To pull up the photo.
Well, I'll show it to them.
But I mean, even for me to see.
And then, like the way the sun was, it was behind where the photo was taken, so it couldn't have been sun glare. Plus, we had a tent over us. We was inside the tent, and there was nothing shiny, so it wasn't a reflection. Mm-hmm. It didn't even look like any kind of lens flare that anybody sees, or like a sun flare glare, you know. And I feel like it. And then you said it tagged somebody on Facebook. That, like, to me, I feel like it's somebody from one of our families was there with us in that moment. Or it could have been multiple spirits there, and it showed like that. To me, that was neat and a little wicked.
Yeah. I've already talked about all of my experiences, so.
Yeah.
In the last video, I literally told both of mine.
That's it?
Yeah. Except for Mom's house, but that's still...
I mean, it's a paranormal experience.
But I don't know, because I remember the cat walking away when I got up and opened the door. Or shut it.
Yeah, but the door's shut.
Yeah.
A cat can't open that door.
Cats can open doorknobs.
No, there's no way that cat could open that door.
Anyways, we were staying at my mom's house. You're gonna have to just tell it now.
Next week.
Okay.
So, on to the paranormal question of the week. It is, what's a orb?
Really?
Yes. I didn't know we was going to go in that depth.
So we pretty much already answered that.
Just kind of, sort of, yeah. We pretty much didn't think we was going to go that too far.
So just take...
What a orb is. So
just take the first clip and just add it here.
Nah. So, orbs, it's pretty much a spherical or globe shape. You know, it's an orb of light, are generally thought to be the manifestation of energy of a spirit, which is why it's called or referred to ghost orbs or spirit orbs. And it's just pretty much like a ball of energy, a ball of light, and it's like a possible spirit manifesting itself, or
is an orb always white?
Showing itself, or not always white.
I was gonna say, can orbs be black?
It can be multiple colors. I'm gonna get into that a little bit further down. And it could just be a spirit just in that form, just moving around. Orb colors. White orbs are typically thought to be positive, although could also indicate that a spirit energy is stuck or trapped on a plane that they don't belong on. Not like an airplane, like, a plane of land.
I'm not that stupid.
I didn't say you was. I was just trying to. So red
you
orbs.
have to dumbify it for my end, but I'm not that.
Well, it's not for you. That's just for other people that, it might not have clicked with.
Go ahead.
Red orbs are generally considered to be warm and protective spirits.
I've never seen a red orb.
Although, I've seen some in some people's evidence in their videos that they've shown. Red and orange can be considered passionate and fury colors. This is typically not the case when we talk about ghosts or spirit orbs. Red orbs could also be manifestation of the energy of a protector or of a caretaker. Black orbs may have reputation as being negative or angry spirits, but in reality they may simply be spirits with negative or heavy emotions attached to them.
I would always just assume the black orbs are bad.
No, it just pretty much I feel like any kind of, if it's an evil spirit or entity showing itself as an orb, I feel like it can show as any color. It's going to try to trick you anyway,
True. It's almost like a mood ring for orbs.
Yeah. Green orbs associate with nature. Someone, that represents like oneness with earth. Blue orbs is often used to try to elicit a calming, healing response. That's pretty much what an orb is, and what colors of the orbs mean typically. Some people say that they see faces and certain things inside of orbs, which is, to me, is, if you see an orb and then see something inside of that orb, like a face, I feel like that, potentially could be that spirit of whatever face you're seeing.
Yeah.
Alright, paranormal equipment. So, paranormal equipment of this week is dowsing rods. I'm going to do a more in-depth video over dowsing rods, but pretty much dowsing rods, there's like multiple different kinds of rods out there. Like the Y rod, it's like a fork shape, like a Y from a tree branch. Some people have specific trees that they would rather use. Like I've seen it done too, where like somebody broke off this branch and it was like a Y shape, and then they held two ends, and then the end where it's connected at, they'll be walking, and then it just, like when they walk over water, they'll bend straight down, point straight down at where the water source is. So it's to find water? To find water, but hold on. And then you got the L-shaped rods, which is the rods I got. You hold them, and then like you ask a question, and you also have to define with the spirit, if you want it to cross, for that, what meaning that is versus outwards. And people use them rods for finding water or other material like some kind of metal ore or something. And then in the paranormal world, people also use these rods to communicate with spirits, which to me, alright, let's get back into this. Our cat was pulling her hair, and we don't allow her to do that. So pretty much people can use the Y rods or the L rods to communicate with spirits. Also, there's other dowsing equipment out there, like in Orbs 5 is a digital dowsing device, and
honestly feel like they could be easily manipulated, because
well,
when I
yeah.
was holding it, it was easy to do.
Well, yeah.
Plus,
I mean,
like, not everybody can sit there and stay still. Like, I know my hands would shake.
yeah, when it shakes, it's there's one motion. You know, it's doing this. But when you're just sitting there with it shaking and just doing this, and you don't really like twitch or tilt your hands, then it's not going to do that.
But I'm just saying,
And there are people out there. See, like, I feel like you're thinking it's all fake.
No, I'm not saying that.
That's what it felt like.
No.
It came across as you thinking it's all fake.
No, but
yes, it can be easily manipulated and faked. But I mean, if you're someone that's not, trying to fake it, and you're really trying to get evidence, or not even evidence, trying to communicate.
I get it, but I'm just saying that's one of the top things that would be easily manipulated.
I mean, I feel like anything can be easily manipulated.
That's like low on my list of like equipment I would use.
See, personally, me, I feel like I would use it because I'm not going to fake it.
I know, but
I'm not. I really want that communication.
But what I'm saying is like, I wasn't even trying to manipulate it when I was doing it.
Yeah, and it moved.
And it was easy to do. So like me, if I was to do an investigation and I got evidence or whatever, I wouldn't believe it.
See, that's to me. You think it's all fake because you're not going to believe.
No, just the dowsing rods. Just the dowsing rods.
Yeah, but I'm talking about with the dowsing rods. I'm not talking about with other things. We're talking about dowsing rods right now.
Yeah.
So you believe everybody's evidence with dowsing rods is fake?
No, I'm just saying it could have been faked.
But you don't believe theirs.
I guess not.
See?
I guess, yeah. I don't believe the dowsing rods.
I believe in the dowsing rods. I've had experience with it. Past video, it was the first time using them in investigation, and yeah, I was a little shaky here and there, and they were moving sometimes. And there was one time, I actually think I cut this part out because I got a metal rod in my arm, and I twitched, and it went like that. So I cut that part out because I knew that was me, though. I knew that was me. I know when my arm twitches and stuff, so I'm not gonna be like, oh, that's evidence. But when I'm just sitting there and the rods are out and they move on their own like that, to me that's the spirit moving them, communicating with me. And they move in the direction that, like I say, like to cross means yes, out means no. To me, I believe in the dowsing rods. I also believe that people can fake it for sure. No doubt. I'm just
telling you my opinion.
And I'm telling you mine.
But you're getting defensive.
I'm not getting defensive.
Okay.
I don't know why you think I'm getting defensive.
Continue.
I'm just saying.
Continue.
Looks like you're the one getting defensive here. Because, never mind, I'm not going there. Keep politics out of it.
Yeah.
So, moving on from dowsing rods, since somebody's getting very offensive over it, defensive. So, the haunted doll of the week is going to be Robert the Doll. I'm going to let Bree here explain.
You can cut in anytime. Anyways, there's two stories about how he obtained the doll. So one was he got it from his grandfather from Germany, from a famous toy store.
The Stiff Company.
Yeah.
Manufactured by the Stief Company.
It was also famous for a teddy bear, wasn't it? A teddy bear at that time.
I think so, yeah.
Anyways, or it came from his servant, handmade it for him.
For Eugene.
Yeah, but they don't recall what the bear was wearing before. But the famous sailor outfit came from Eugene. He used to wear it when he was younger.
Okay.
Did you read that too?
Yeah, I've heard that.
Okay. So, also, I don't know if it was because the maid was fired or not, but supposedly voodoo goes along with it. She casted a voodoo spell on it, and that's how it started changing. Because they didn't really say when it started manifesting and doing things. There's two theories. One was the voodoo, and then the second one is sources say that the doll was bought haunted, or that Otto himself projected supernatural powers onto the doll by blaming his childhood accidents on the wrongdoings of Robert.
Otto is Eugene Robert Otto.
Yeah.
Otto is pretty much Eugene, and he gave the doll
Robert.
His middle name, Robert.
Yeah.
So the doll went by Robert, Eugene went by Eugene.
Or Otto, yeah. So the first incident of things started being different was there was one night Otto woke up with Robert sitting at the end of his bed with his beady eyes staring back at him, and moments later the rest of the house awoken and the furniture in Otto's room was completely flipped over and knocked over, and he was freaked out.
And they say Robert's supernatural abilities is to, him moving, changing his facial expressions, making giggling sounds. Some visions of the legend claim that a young girl of, so the maid or the servant is of Bohemian descent.
Yep.
That they suspect gave Robert the doll instead of getting it from the Steve company.
But they also say that that Eugene himself could have made him the way he was by constantly blaming all the wrongdoings on him, so created him to have this dark aura and this bad, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's kind of like Eugene was the good kid and Robert was the bad kid.
And so the doll now sits at the East Martello Museum in Key West, Florida. And they say that people continues to write back to Robert the doll because they didn't ask for the picture, and they pretty much disrespected Robert the doll, and the doll causes them to either get in they have bad luck from there. They get in a car wreck, or broken bone, divorce. They have bad luck from there, so they'll write in and tell Robert they're sorry so they can quit having the bad luck. There's even been reports of Robert causing death upon someone for disrespecting or taking a picture that he didn't give him permission for.
There's also a room started that he likes candy, so they send in a lot of candies and other things that we can't say on here. But
so moving on to Nuke's top 5.
I actually had a fun fact.
All right, well, tell me a fun fact.
Corey Comforter. I'm gonna murder the last name. So Corey is the museum's curator, and she every year Robert gets a yearly checkup where they check his weight and the wood wool that he's made out of, just to make sure that the Florida weather isn't affecting him in any way.
Yeah, so
I just thought that was a fun fact.
So he don't deteriorate or diminish. So now moving on to Nuke's top 5.
Top 5 ghosts caught on camera.
So his let me get your notes on Nuke's. I'll wait for it. You got it? Alright. So number 5. So first of all, this week's is last week's Nuke Top 5. It's the 5 scary ghost videos that'll make you punch your screen. The last one we did was they'll make you punch your phone. So the top 5 videos. Number 5 was the ghost of Carmel, Maine. This guy, he gets tons of evidence of a figure, a dark figure, shadows, noises, and of sounds like talking, And in this video, he heard a noise downstairs, so he went downstairs and checked it out, and pretty much seen a figure in front of his TV.
Now, was the TV on already when he went down?
No, I think they said it turned on.
Yeah, I think they said the TV turned on, which made him turn that direction, and then there was a dark figure literally like
right there in front of the TV.
On the screen, touching the screen, yeah.
And,
it almost looked like a little kid.
Yeah, and this man lives alone, which he gets a lot of figures evidence.
Which I've probably watched one of his videos and didn't even really realize.
Yeah, he appears on Nuke Top 5 a lot.
Yeah.
He gets good video of these apparitions, of these shadows, of these figures. And
I would almost, I wonder if he's ever set up cameras overnight, like while he's sleeping, and see like pictures.
I think he has.
I don't know. I'll have to look more into his stuff.
Yeah.
It's got me intrigued, that's for sure, to watch his stuff.
Ghosts of Carmel, Maine. I featured in the YouTube channel Ghosts of Carmel, Maine many times on Nuke's Top 5.
One night, while sleeping, there was a loud bang in the bedroom that woke me up. I started hearing faint voices, so I picked up my cell phone camera and started recording.
One night, Ken hears voices coming from downstairs and records as he heads down to investigate. He is not prepared for what he finds waiting in the dark first floor TV room.
Son of a... What the hell are you? Honey?
So number 4,
Checking out early.
checking out early. So on number 4, it was a bandit, and
The first clip was of him and his friend exploring it. They hear voices. They start to go up the steps, and an empty bucket comes flying over the stairwell at him, and his friend takes off. That's the first clip.
yeah, and then like there was pretty much supposed figures before the bucket getting thrown down. They supposedly seen a figure in the window before they went up the stairs, before they went inside. And then after that, like when he was laying in there by himself, when he came back to spend the night by himself, like there was a piece of stone on the mantle that was moving, and then kind of like flew off of it towards him. Well, kind of in his direction, not towards him, but it was like kind of in his direction.
But then looking back at the video, right before that, was it right before that happened or right after the shadow appeared in the doorway on the right?
I think that was after.
Right after? Like
not right after, but after. Or...
Because I thought it did 2 clips of it.
Yeah, I think one clip was with him laying there before the stone.
Yeah.
And then, like, I really don't know if this happened before or after him laying down, but to the right of him in the right doorway, you see shadows just moving. I think there was like multiple of them at different times. One of them to me kind of looked like a hand like this that went like that, but I could be wrong, you know. And that stone going off in that one direction, like it did, I feel like it could have been done by string, but. Excuse me, everybody. But, you know, it could have been a force or something paranormal that threw it off there like that.
Definitely. So, I know if I would have been hearing noises like right above my head and right behind me, I wouldn't have laid back down. I would have definitely like scooted away from it.
Yeah, if something...
Because he just like lays right back down.
Yeah, if there's like poltergeist activity happening like that, I'm definitely going to be keeping my guard.
I'm definitely going to try to get up and try to figure out what just made that noise.
And the shadows that they captured on the camera, he didn't even know about. And I think this is the second time this pretty much investigation was showed on Nukes. The first time was just of like them hearing noises, and then that stone flying off of the mantle like it did.
So they didn't even know that the black figures was in the video before?
I don't think it was caught in the last time it was Nuke's Top 5 was posted.
So you think that's
this
why
investigation.
it made it back?
So yeah, I think that's why it came back through onto Nuke's Top 5 again, was because of the shadows that were shown in this investigation.
I wonder if it was people in the comments that pointed it out. So that to me kind of lets me know that it wasn't them.
Yeah, they didn't know, because I feel like if someone was faking it, I feel like it can go one or two ways. They can act like they caught it, or act like they didn't see it.
True.
So
I'll let y'all try to figure it out.
Yeah, and then like if stop it. Say like somebody was there and they wasn't necessarily faking it, but you know their hand went in front of the camera, they'd be like, okay, at this time this person's hand went in front of the camera, which made that do that.
Checking out early. Now, it's certainly a bit hard to see, but when the video is slowed down and enhanced, a very strange figure can be seen standing at the window.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله. ما في طبق ثاني دائما خاف منه. دائما يا اخي. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله. اقرا ايات. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله أعوذ بكلمات الله التامات. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله الذي لا يضر مع اسمه شيء. بسم الله. لا تعال بس تعال سلام تعال. لا هسه يقوم احد، بس تعال وين بدعت امك، تعال وين ما يقوم احد، والله يقوم صديق سوا، بس تعال اقعد فوق. سلام بس تعال بدعت امك يا اخي، حلفتك. سلام حلفتك بدعت امك، تعال. بسم الله. بسم الله. بسم الله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وش يقال؟ بسم الله. بسم الله. بسم الله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
As Mustafa is repositioning his static camera, a dark figure appears behind him on the staircase. It slowly moves down the stairs without making a sound, and then disappears out of sight. Again, a dark, very bizarre figure quickly appears behind Mustafa, not once, but twice.
So moving on to number 3, which is the Ancient Ram Inn.
This one really was intriguing.
It was built 1145 on top of a pagan burial ground.
Yep.
It used to house slaves, masons, and workers. Also, they said, is this the one with the man?
No, this is the one with the witch.
Oh, that was the next one. Yeah.
The witches.
So, a witch, a lady stayed there and pretty much got captured there, and they said she was a witch and burned her alive outside of the inn.
Yep.
And then under the floor of the Ram Inn, like ancient sacred child remains was found.
The innkeeper's daughter also hung herself.
Yeah, the innkeeper.
In there.
So, like, this has a lot of dark history with it. Which
I might do more research, and this might be one of our haunted places.
Of the week, yeah.
Because this one really got my interest.
Yeah, it has a lot of history to it.
Especially from 1145, it's seen a lot.
Yeah, and it could, you know, dark things happen there could create a dark energy presence there.
For sure.
Or, you know, something dark or something that could happen to somebody could leave, like, their spirit behind there.
And also, I don't know how old the video itself was, but it looks like it hasn't changed at all. They kept it exactly how it was, how it was built, which...
And, so, the first evidence they got was one of the investigators there. His legs got touched while he was laying on the bed, and then a door opened to the attic. Then Carl went and laid down on the bed, tied up, and with his face covered.
Which still...
And well, something touched his leg at first, and then a candle fell down off of what it was on, and then he got smacked on his chest, and you heard it, and you didn't see nothing.
Yeah.
You just hear a smack.
He was wearing one of those puffer jackets, so you could just imagine the smack.
And it was loud enough to capture it on the camera.
And he freaked.
And he freaked out.
For sure.
So, I mean, you heard it, and like pretty much that was the evidence for number 3.
Yep.
And the haunted ancient Ram Inn.
I'll tell you, this is the. Fell something on my leg, man. Someone was on my leg.
Jesus Christ, bro.
Come on, show yourself. I'm sure you're not afraid of me and Owen.
Guys, the doors just open.
Someone just touched my leg. Someone just touched my leg, bro.
Something's up, man.
Are you around me now? You make a sound. What the was that, bro?
What, man?
This something's just fallen off here.
Is that? Someone just touched me, bro. What the?
Something's wrong with Carl. He's obviously.
Holy shit, man.
We need to go.
You get me the out of here now, Joe. Bro, I just seriously, someone just whacked me, no joke. I heard something being thrown or something, and I was like, come on, and then someone just whacked me, no joke, as if someone just punched me in the chest. Me.
Then going on to number 2, House of the Burned Man, Hillside Mansion. It's been in Mexico. It's been abandoned for 35 years. Local legend. Pretty much a man burned inside by a mysterious fire.
But that's only legend. Like, that's just hearsay.
Yeah. I mean, we don't know if it's hearsay.
No, what I'm just saying.
There could be evidence of it.
And nobody's,
Yeah. So, what they caught was like a scream on camera, which could have been like a scream from an animal. Like there was a bat in there. I feel like that little scream could have been possibly came from that bat.
Could have been.
Then they heard strange noises, which again, there was a bat in there. Bats, matter of fact, in there.
Yeah, they heard dragging noises, like something was being drugged.
Yeah, that could have been a bat, like I don't know, brushing up against something.
They were right on the water too, though.
Yeah.
I feel like that could have had a lot of.
Yeah, they could have had a lot of.
With the noises.
Yeah, that could have. So, also, they've captured a shadow. Was it on the outside? It looked like a. Well, they caught multiple shadows in there, right? Inside of the mansion.
Yeah. Was this the one right before they even went in the windows? Remember?
Yeah.
How supposedly they seen something and then he pans back to it and it's gone.
I'm not for sure.
I don't remember which video that was on. Anyways.
But this one they've caught 2 like inside of like a doorway. On the inside of the mansion. And then on the outside of the mansion they capture like a figure, and if you slow it down like Nuke did and like zoom into it, you can see like a face with that. Like it could have, and it kind of looked like it was a little see-through, so it could have been apparition, or it could have just been like the video of it, but you've seen a figure there and you've seen a face.
And he also complains about a stench.
Yeah, they smell a stench in there.
The House of the Burned Man. Alberto's cameraman captures what appears to be a white translucent figure on camera. A little later into their investigation, and they capture something again. A bizarrely shaped shadow seems to be staring back at him from just inside one of the rooms. They go to check it out, but there's nothing there. They catch an unexplained figure on camera, just barely visible in the dark.
So number 1, just passing through abandoned train station in England. from way back in the day. So they get a motion detector that sets off, and then a video of a white mist. Pretty much, it looks like it goes through him or past him, and he gets like knocked back from it. It could have been somebody's breath. Yeah, and then he lost his balance at the time.
Yeah, because right before the motion sensor goes off, there's like a like when someone breathes and the cold air went past the screen. But this one was like white. It was like a vape smoke looking white.
I mean, it could have been anything, really.
Yeah, but he reacts to it.
Yeah, so that
So yeah,
it could be a real paranormal incident. I'm not saying it's not, and I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying that that's the evidence that they got.
The clip was like literally 5 seconds long.
Yeah. Well, what? Which clip?
Number 5 or number.
Well, it wasn't
one.
like 5 seconds long. It was just like the quickest.
Yeah.
I guess investigation he's shown.
I guess.
Yeah.
Just passing through. When lead investigator Nick walks back and forth, setting off the motion detector, something seems to follow him. Then suddenly a super fast moving white mist seems to pass right through him, knocking him a step back.
Would he do that? No!
What's especially creepy is that Nick seems to both see and react to the mist as it passes right through his body.
So, now, how would you number them? I would number the number 3 spot, the Ancient Ram Inn, as number 1 because it's got the history to the place, the most history, and then Carl got smacked on the bed. I mean, so to me, that's, you got evidence right there of a candle falling off, falling down. Somebody gets touched in the leg, then the next guy gets touched in the leg, and you hear him get smacked.
Yeah, and he's literally tied up, so he didn't do it to himself.
Yeah, he didn't make the noise, and the other people were in the other room watching him through the screen. So,
I mean, there was no faking that.
You hear the smack, and he starts reacting like he got smacked. So, to me, that would be number 1
for sure.
What would you have as number 2?
Number 2 would be. I don't know.
Checking out early. I think that's what we went over was number 2. We would have put number 2 as.
Oh yeah. Definitely the bucket being thrown. Someone could have been up there, tossed it.
But saying that no one was up there, like say this ain't faked. That that's poltergeist activity. Something.
Say
was
it's not
at.
faked.
Yeah.
It's still.
That's.
I mean, yeah, they moved the brick, but. I still.
Well, we're not saying they moved the brick. We're saying that.
I'm saying the ghost, the spirit moved the brick. I would still put it as number 2.
Yeah, we
number 2.
His number 4. We're putting at number 2.
Yeah.
The checking out early. We're putting at number 2. So what we put at number 3 was the ghost of Carmel, Maine. He has shown up on Nuke's Top 5 multiple times now. I mean, with the evidence he got, I would have probably put it at 1 or 2. But since he's been up there multiple times and gotten multiple different, dark figures, I'm going to put him as 3. Unless he gets something major next time. That's the only time I think I would bring him to a number 1 spot again.
Are you almost saying the black figure is getting overplayed?
No, I ain't saying it's getting overplayed.
Or he's getting a lot of limelight. I don't get.
I'm not saying he's getting a lot of limelight. I'm just saying he's shown up so much already on Nuke's Top 5 with showing a ghost figure. I'm not saying he's faking. I'm just saying of him capturing this ghost figure, and it's been multiple different shapes and forms and shown itself multiple different ways. It's like, something happening over and over and over and over and over and over again. The same thing, but sometimes a whole different way. It gets, even though the evidence is great and it's pretty wicked. It just kind of gets old and boring.
Yeah, because you already know what to expect.
Yeah, I'm already gonna expect it. So
Yeah.
unless
I gotcha.
something dramatic happens, drastically, then I would put him back as number 1. But since he's shown up multiple times, he's number 3. The next Ghost Maine or Ghost of Carmel, Maine come about, it's probably gonna be of the figure again. So I'm already gonna expect it.
It sounds like you've seen one of his videos. You've seen them all.
Not really, because it don't show itself the same way in
Okay.
the same place.
I don't know why I'm debating
the
with you on this.
Exactly.
Honestly, I don't.
In the same form, different times of ways.
Okay.
So it's not the same. It's just
I don't know why I'm debating with you on it. It's fine.
you're debating with me on a lot of stuff here lately, for some reason.
Well, that's what our podcast kind of is, isn't it?
And it's stuff that's like, why are you debating it?
I don't know.
So
Because I have questions and I'm asking them out loud.
Well, that's not a debate. Anyways, moving on. So what we would put as number 4 was what was in the number 1 spot, just passing through the train station. Pretty much to me, I'm not saying it's faked, but there's a lot of that out there. Motion sensors going off. An apparition didn't get shown. You did see a white mist. That could have been their breath or a vape. You didn't really see the whole mist, the whole form of it. You didn't see it really where it came from, you know what I'm saying? It just, or how it appeared or whatnot. You just see it go across the screen. So that's why I'm going to be putting that at number 4. I'm not saying their stuff's fake. I mean, it's good evidence. But, I feel like they didn't try to debunk it or whatnot. If it could have been debunked, but who knows? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what I'm saying. So what I would have put at number 5 is what he had as number 2, which was the house of the burn man. I feel like it just didn't get enough solid evidence, because the scream could have been from the bat. The noises they heard could have been from the animals in there, like the bat. Other noises that they heard could have been noises coming from the surroundings of the building.
Yeah, there's a lot of other factors that could have.
And then the shadows, to me, they're questionable. It's.
Yeah, I honestly wouldn't have even seen the guy or the spirit on the tree line.
Yeah, if they didn't slow it down and zoom in.
Because.
And to me, it kind of looked like it could have been a person, because to me the face kind of looked like one of them plain white masks. Somebody in like a hooded or like a all black hooded like robe or something.
Which.
And one of those masks.
I recall them being close to the water.
Yeah, they was close to the water. Cause then one of their.
But I don't know how close. But hear me out. The reflection behind the tree, right?
Yeah, this was in Mexico. Pretty much. I don't think it was a river. I think it was like a lake.
No, it was literally an ocean.
Yeah.
With waves when they zoomed out at it. That's what I'm saying. So here, the moon reflects off the ocean and it makes it kind of look like a whitish. You know what I'm saying? How water looks from the moon at night.
Yeah.
What if it was just a glimpse of that? What if they just so happened to catch the water, like, just right? That's what it kind of looked like to me.
I mean, that could have been that. We would have to play it back and look more
In
on
depth,
what's behind it and stuff, because it looked like, to me, it looked like a person was kind of hiding behind that tree and then like moved its face out from behind the limb.
But to me, it's almost like
when they slowed it down,
they were trying so hard to find something that they were like, we're going to give them this. Making something out of that. I mean, I could be wrong. That's just the bias in me on it. Still don't think it deserved
the number 2 spot.
Yeah.
I don't think it did either. But, you know, tell me what y'all think should have been from 5 to 1. What should have been his number 5 pick, his 4 pick, his 3 to 2 and 1 pick. Tell us below down in the comments what one you think should have what spot. So, our last investigation was of the haunted doll. Found out his name was Paul. Used the dowsing rods, which she thinks is 100% fake.
I'm a skeptic.
That's like, it's kind of like the Ouija board, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You think it's fake until you use it and it moves on its own.
Completely. If I stand on this side of a Ouija board session, I definitely
think it's fake. But if you was doing it yourself,
it'd be different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
I know what you're saying.
that like, it's very easy to be fake. There's a lot of stuff that can be easily faked.
And there's a lot of stuff that is faked.
True.
People have ruined it.
But that's the thing. I'm not. I mean, fakes. There's always going to be fakes, and fakes is always going to ruin things, and then the people that are not faking it have to explain.
No, I get it.
And have to continuously prove themselves because somebody's faked. You know what I'm saying?
That's just the world we live in.
There's plenty of people that, you know, use dowsing rods and get good communication with it. And yeah, there's some out there that fake. Excuse me.
I definitely like.
Sorry, guys, I'm tired. We do this podcast late at night.
I definitely think. Rewind. Personally, I think that. Personally, I like the videos where people try to debunk what evidence they just caught. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, where they capture something on their video, then re-go over it to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or.
But some of this, though, you got to think, some of this stuff they get on video, they might not know that they captured until after the fact. And then it's like, say like Waverly Hills, for instance. They paid $1,000 for that night to investigate, and then they live far out. They just can't just come back.
No, yeah.
And try to debunk that.
I mean, I get it, but I'm just saying personally, I like the ones that debunk it for you.
Yeah. That's like
I like how you show that when your equipment goes off and what you do and when it doesn't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Where if I make it go off.
You're showing them what you're explaining them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like the EMF meter if it goes off because I use the S box. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna say it's paranormal. I'm just going to be like, hey, the S box set it off. Yeah. And not even use the EMF meter anymore. Okay. And then back onto back on.
We do that a lot.
Back onto last investigation we did was of the haunted doll that we found randonauticing. Which, check that video out of how we found Paul. It was during a randonautic video with the intent haunted doll. So pretty much we got his name through a EVP. It said I'm Paul, or it might have said who's Paul. It said something Paul, and I think it said I'm Paul. Then
I think you asked it, who's Paul, or something like that.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the electromagnetic voice phenomenon that I captured on my voice recorder. It was it said I'm Paul. Then because you can hear me through that voice recorder clear as day, you know, my voice. Then that came through, but I don't think it was right after I asked who's Paul. Or not who's Paul, what the doll's name is. And then I used the dowsing rods and I got communication with that. Then after that I got a figure with the on the SLS camera where the figure, which I didn't realize it at first. I sent her a footage of it of the SLS camera, and it was of the figure laying down on the table, and it was like connected to the doll.
Yeah, it was creepy.
So, I mean, check that out. That investigation was...
Almost to me, it looked like he was laying like this behind the doll. And like flat
Well,
out.
like with the doll. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's weird.
Yeah, check that out.
It's cool though. Definitely.
Check that investigation out. That was last week's investigation. So this Thursday is going to be this week's investigation. And where I filmed that doll, that pretty much me investigating to see if that doll is haunted or not, it was in my brother's garage. And the next investigation is going to be of pretty much his garage because he's seen that door open. So the last person that was in it was me doing that haunted doll investigation. And we came out, I shut the door, and the door can't be blown open. You have to turn the knob and give a little push of the door for it to open. And then there's a top latch where you turn the latch where the latch can't open or nothing. So this door couldn't have been blown open by wind. And then he was in his bathroom, and he sees the door open just a little bit. So something had to unlatch it and turn the knob to open up that door. So when he called me and told me what he's seen,
You packed up a lot,
yeah, I just grabbed some of my gear and went straight over there to investigate. You're going to have to check out that investigation this Thursday. And that's pretty much it. This is GUP, Geeked Up Paranormal Podcast. R.I.P.s.